For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Simtrax Broadcasting as we come to you live here in the Racing Revolution League. Drivers are getting ready to start wrapping up their qualifying times. Only 2 out there so far. Nick Schell, Tay McDonald looking to finish up the last couple of laps. And from the way he's been driving around here, it actually looks like what some drag racers would say is sandbagging. He's looking to line himself up for what looks like to be a dead last start. He may be expecting the big one. And, of course, the big one always happens at the Alabama Mile here at Talladega. Joining alongside me tonight, I am not alone, will be Stellar Stella and Douglas Ross Jr. Appreciate you joining back in the booth with me. Been quite a while here, guys, but this track is completely capable of a 3-wide condition, and we saw that earlier this year where these guys battled side by side. They were able to make some interesting moves, but some untimely cautions did happen. ... Guys, Stella,
Hey.
you remember, you were here.
Yeah, but I was trying to let the new guy in.
I gotcha. Well,
I
right
do
now,
appreciate it.
yeah, the green number out there on the tower is Trevor Aart, who is locked in by a win starting into this round as he won last week in the round of 12. He's locked in for the round of 8. Will we see another driver make it? That's going to be the key here tonight as the drivers are trying their best to stay alive out there and keep pushing. You'll see a few familiar faces out there, but maybe some unfamiliar faces. One of them key being Ray Lane in the 44 Ford out there was originally part-time, coming here, coming there every once in a while, is now going to be a full-time driver back with the Racing Revolution League. And man, you want to talk about questionable here, starting back up in the playoffs. It's going to be tough because he's got a lot of guys battling for points. Their night tonight could end. One bad finish, and this could be the end of their run here in the playoffs with the Racing Revolution League. Now, we'll take a little bit of a peek here at our championship standings here as we get this one loaded. Trevor Aart sits on top, tied with Jeremy Burns, but remember, Aart is locked in via a win. And right now, the top 8 drivers are making it, and we are a little nervous right now as the Performance Motorsports gang is already looking at 2 guys below the cutoff line. 9, 10, 11, and 12 right now are in the hot seat. They have got to have a good finish here tonight. And talk about James Loveland kicking it into high gear here late in the season, is able to push on through, and he has made it even via the points. So he moves on through, sitting in that 4th position. But it looks like drivers, we are going ahead and crushing this here, moving on to the next round as the guys are getting ready to set up here for the grid. Stella, this is going to be an interesting race here, and really I'm interested to see how well these guys are going to hold up in the draft. They've got to maintain patience, they've got to be calm, and have good angles without pushing and running each other over tonight.
Yeah, pushing and running each other over does not work real well here, nor does it work real well most any place. But I think if we can spread ourselves out just a tiny bit, I like side by side, but we don't need 3 wide all the time, and be careful in and out of the pits, we should have a good night.
Alrighty, 100 degrees out on the track here at Talladega, 94 laps. First stage and only stage will be at lap 30. If a caution does happen within 5 laps of that, they'll go ahead and mark that as the stage. 50% fuel limit, 5 sets of tires down in pit. That should be plenty here for Talladega, seeing it's not really a tire eater here, but no fast repairs. So take care of the race car. I know the safer barrier wall makes it super easier to ricochet off, and these next gens turn into about a box of rocks out there, being as tough as they are, but they are not going to be able to withstand that all night tonight. So that's 75-degree air temperature. Plenty happy for our race fans out there, but not 100% great for really tires having a decent ambient air temperature to get started up and going. But let's go ahead and take a look at our starting grid here for tonight, which I can't wait to bring you guys here as this one gets underway. Grant Turner getting a start on the pole, hopefully a little better than what we saw Tyler Harrison getting off on the start last week. He'll be starting next to a Go for Broke racer, Kevin Orlando. Matthew Robinson will be starting third. I believe he's one of the favorites to win here tonight, and next to John Fife. Caleb Gilbert, Trevor Aart rounding out row number 3. Jeremy Burns will be in the number 9, sitting 7th next to Chris Nail. Keep an eye out for Nail. He's been doing pretty well here so far. Daniel Holloway will be starting 9th. The Candyman next to Jackson Lomax. Lomax returning back to the league as well. Definitely brings everybody out of the woodwork here, guys. Next to Tyler. So that brings us to Tyler Harrison, row number 6 on the inside next to Tay McDonald. McDonald may have been sandbagging, but not that good as he rotates on back to the second half of the field, where Rader's going to start on the inside on row number 13. Christopher Schaefer sits 14th. Grant Thorpe, Justice Murphy, Michael Bennett, and Parker Johnston. Boy, that's starting to work way back here as we get to row number 10, where Alice Forget and Trevor Keith sit. Trevor Keith had a little trouble during practice. He's going to see if he can battle on through to get this underway and have a clean race tonight. Nick Alves in a dangerous area, 21st next to James Loveland, Nick Shell, and Ray Lane. These guys are sitting in the back of the field, and our final row will be Dylan Smoot and Devin Hudgens in the 84. I'm sure Jade Hudgens is kind of scratching her head right now, wondering, man, why are we so far back? But that may be his opportunity and what he is considering getting as a good starting position. Pace car lights are off. He is down pit road. Green flag is out. Barney's letting her rip here, and away we go. Driver's getting underway. There we go. First time across the line. Grant Turner's got a great start here, and hopefully he's going to be able to maintain that and continue on through. Yeah, not too bad. Nobody's trying 3 wide here just yet. This is definitely working out to their advantage here, working side by side and front to back. So nobody moving as of yet. Fike looks like he's getting a little nervous and does not want to be in that position that he is. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a flyover here. And notice the separation of no door draft here. Separation by an entire lane. I expect to see Justice Murphy pop out and start working his way up toward the front, which will give you a little reminder here, Stella, about Ted Wreckage. And we've seen him out here in the 00 multiple times. Talladega's his race, and he definitely puts the hammer down. No matter what place he is, he can find his way back to the front row.
He does, whether it's in the middle, on the outside, make it a 3 wide, 4 wide, Ted Wreckage goes.
All right, Grant Turner bumped out of the lead, and that's going to bring John Fike to lead our first lap here of the night at Talladega for the second race of the round of 12. Next race, boy, they're going to wish they had run this race twice as they head to a road course, the Charlotte Roval. But the guys are looking fantastic out here tonight, but no one really shuffling big moves so far. Chris Nails picked up 4 or 5 here in that 88 Toyota that we see sliding through turn number 3 here. And it's just kind of calming down a little bit. We're noticing the inside line starting to stagnate here, and the inside line starting to shuffle around and trying to figure out how to push back underneath. But Douglas, you know all about super speedways, and the more this track rubbers up, we're going to see a lot more speed out of these guys.
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys think that these guys are moving fast now? When the race gets later into the show, like probably around, I'd say around anywhere from lap 30 to lap 50, depending on what the track temperature wants to do, you guys are really going to be seeing these cars move. But as of right now, with this early in the stage, everybody is going to be just taking it easy. And you can also notice that in the inside and outside lines, on the second car back from each lane, whether it's the inside or the outside, you got to watch out for that accordion effect, because right now you want to be the car in front on that end, but if you're in the back, you got to watch out for the accordion effect and make sure you don't take out anybody in front or in back of you.
Yeah, now I know the bump draft is very famous here at this track. You're kind of tucking the nose underneath the rear bumper and pushing along, but how do you do it without pushing somebody out of the way? We're going to see how John Fike does it to Caleb Gilbert, as Caleb Gilbert gets a decent run, creates a vacuum pocket for Fike. Fike goes up and rear ends the back of that 54, and away they go. Outside line might have a chance, but notice how Trevor Aart, look and see how he's kind of backing it up a little bit, giving it a little bit of space here, and that's exactly what you want to see. Kind of make sure guys can move around, get some speed. But now, Kevin Orlando kicking it out here and rotating back to the back. Notice this is teamwork here. Everybody shuffling around, but Mr. Restrictor Plate sending it dead center. Michael Bennett working his way on up. Originally starting back there in that 6th, 17th position, now up to 13th. That 14 Ford is on a tear here, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to maintain this roll. Definitely, we've seen him fly all the way up 10 positions in a matter of 2 laps, but he's got to be safe tonight. He's gotten wrecked out way too many times, and playoffs are not where you want to be sitting down pit road. So consistency has to matter. And Michael Bennett, I guarantee you, would be looking like Superman out there with his chest all puffed out if he could come away with a win here tonight.
Yeah, I bet. And I will put out one thing that might make these drivers really happy and might make the viewers happy. This is a super speedway, and we are going to have one fast repair tonight.
Oh, man. It is. Oh, my gosh. Well, at least they'll be able to have one mulligan here so they can put their car back together. And that will definitely be helpful for them out here. I know, when these guys have no fast repair, Michael Bennett had no fast repair last week. His car was obliterated. It absolutely, the right front fender came off, kind of ricocheted into the wall. Next one to take a little jab at a couple of deals here, or a 3-wide condition. It looks like that charge is going to be led by Chris Schaefer on the outside line, and he's moving on through, and Parker Johnston following along as well. Now, so far they've been moving up here, and that's seeming to work, but man, it just requires so much concentration by the guys in that middle lane to hold on. But look at Trevor Aart popping out. A little bit of a Nick Alves move here. Nick Alves actually sunk himself last time. He was at Daytona sticking his car out there to pull his team along, and actually ended up almost placing outside the top 10. But early into this race here, Douglas, we got to take into account, is 3 wide a good idea to push their way around? And is now the time?
Definitely 3 wide in this section of the race is really, really risky, but if you can do it, then by all means go for it. But just make sure you can keep control of the car and make sure you keep it straight enough so that way you don't take anybody out beside you.
All right, another driver who's trying to stay out of the hot seat here. We move on to Matthew Robinson, who is now taking the lead out front. Remember I said he was the favorite here to win it in the number 1 Chevrolet. He's definitely trucking along out there, seeming to keep, ooh man, he's now going to rotate to the outside line as it looks like Daniel Holloway almost scraped across the rear bumper, and everyone knows that is suicide. But leading the charge on the outside is the 21, trying to pick up some more momentum here, but it is working big time here as Earhart has now moved up to 4th. He's looking for help. Not yet, as Ray Lane in the 44 machine is definitely starting to kick it into high gear here. And yeah, we're already shuffling around back there, Stella, and it's not looking good, as right now I'm sure Michael Bennett would like to be in a different spot than sitting behind Justice Murphy, who's unfortunately been a magnet all year.
I was looking at Grant Turner, who just traded paints on one side with Trevor Aart. I thought he might have pushed him up in the wall, but he held on to it. They're looking good, but I'll tell you, that move for Trevor Aart to come in front of Matthew Robinson, I'm not quite sure he appreciated that much. Robinson's kind of been pushing him in a way of saying, lead follower, get out of my way.
Yeah. So far, so good. Everybody seeming to still hold on. Notice back there with Ray Lane still kind of shuffling around a little bit. I believe that is Robert Rader trying to see if he can hold on to that race car there in the back. Ray Lane going to see if he can give him a good shove on this outside. I don't know if they're going to be able to maintain here. But boy, that outside line, when Trevor Aart was leading it, that was the move, trying to figure out how to shuffle on through. And Douglas, when you were in a pile like this, say you're Jackson Lomax in that 96, man, you got a sea of cars in front of you. How do we stay alive?
Just basically keeping your patience and just focusing on the task ahead of you. I mean, yeah, you're having a ton of cars right now in front of you, but I can tell you this, when you're someone like Ray Lane or even Devin Hutchins or even someone in the back, I would say, who's in the back, even like Nick Alves, it's not a bad idea to even just be in the back and just keep your distance and keep the draft so that way you don't lose track of the pack. So, oh, we got trouble right here in the turn.
Trevor Aart is into the wall. Dude, we were just riding along with Devin Hudgens, and we saw the 21 almost get airborne. And that is huge here for Trevor Aart, who's fortunately is locked in, but now is dead last here. Looks like there's going to be debris out there on the track. And a broken toe link. Yeah, he is done for the rest of this night.
No, he will be using that fast repair. He may have a shot, but they did not call a caution on
Yeah,
this. So
he's going to be multiple laps down. That's what I'm saying, is he's not going to be in any sort of contention. Seeing the amount of time he's got to get around broken down, he's got to get in. He's got the stage, the only thing that's going to save him here. A faster pair will be able to put it together, but what is key here, Douglas, if you come out onto the track alone?
No draft.
Basically, I mean, if you're out on the track alone with no draft, you're going to be a sitting duck, because you're going to be talking about a couple miles an hour less than what the pack is originally running.
Yeah.
Right now, I think the only thing that Trevor Aart can hope for right now is a caution, and he can get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that was not a good hit. It did look like something. I mean, it was kind of immediate there, how he slung into the wall and then rolled on back. I'm not sure why or how fast that did happen, but that was a hard hit into the wall. We'll try to see if I can take a peek at it, at what happened.
Yeah, and I apologize earlier. I was about Earhart. I kept saying Robinson. I don't know why, but it was Schaefer that was behind him. If I misspoke there.
Yeah, it looks like, watching the replay right here, it looks like Chris Schaefer just hit Earhart wrong in the back, and that just caused him to get out of shape.
Wow. All right, we'll see if we can take a quick peek at it. Hopefully we're somewhere close. Right? Oh, man, see him sliding already.
Yep.
Right there. Boom!
That's that snap, too.
Yeah. There's no returning back from that. So Trevor Aart down and out here. He's down pit road, I'm sure, fixed up and back out onto the track, but he is way back here in the sticks. One lap down, he might be able to recover. So yeah, I might be wrong. He might be able to recover from this. So top 5, Matthew Robinson, Daniel Holloway, John Fike, Grant Turner, and rounding it out is the mountain man, Jeremy Burns, the number 9. Check out, he's sporting a brand new paint scheme here. Stella, talk to me a little bit about it.
Well, he is sporting the pink on his car right now for the month of October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and it's looking pretty good. It doesn't clash. I approve.
All right. Well, he definitely tried to take the Cowboys blanket there and rotate it out of the way.
Yeah, no.
Get it out. Let's screen this up. We take a look at Jeremy Burns as he rolls alongside Christopher Schaefer there. That does bring us to Justice Murphy, who, like I said, has been a magnet, and he's got to be careful. Justice Murphy, boy, he is watching that 23 bobbing and weaving all over the place.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, right now, so far, he's been in the only part of any kind of trouble hanging around out there. And Christopher Schaefer in the getting hooked machine has got to stay alive and kind of straighten it up here a little bit, because I think Parker's a little nervous that he might bump him and something would happen. So if you can see, as the outside line is starting to kind of fall apart here, you see that the speed is lacking for most of these drivers to get going on the outside. So how do they, Douglas, from this angle, how do they fix that?
I mean, basically, as long as everybody stays in a straight line, I don't see there being really any problems. But just got to keep it in a straight line, I feel. That's all you got to do.
That might be something they need to consider. Christopher Schaefer's got to straighten it up, and everybody would have a little more confidence in that outside line. As you can see, only about 5 drivers are deciding to stay out there. If they can figure out how to get a quick shove here, that might change it. But Matthew Robinson leading most of the laps here tonight as we are getting ready to complete lap 15. He still rolls here in the front. But as we've seen time and time again, ooh, look at this. Oh, was shoved there by Fike. Pit road heating up here as we get ready to watch the drivers slinging down pit road. Robinson, Fike, Holloway, Jeremy Burns, Rader, Justice Murphy, Michael Bennett, Caleb Gilbert, Kevin Orlando, Trevor Keith, Nick Alves. Boy, oh boy. Who didn't pit is probably better. Christopher Schaefer, Parker Johnston, Chris Nail, Jackson Lomax, Grant Turner, Devin Hudgens, and James Loveland. Not forgetting Nick Schell, who's hanging all the way out here in the back, which is now going to break these two guys apart. Nick Schell and James Loveland, unfortunately, is now they have been separated from the field, and it's getting worse. They've got about 2.5 seconds to make up to the leader, 2 seconds to reach up to Devin Hudgens, and that is going to be critical here, especially if they're looking to score some stage points here at the end of this run.
Yeah, one thing I do want to bring up for for Earhart is at one point Bill Elliott had a loose oil line and had to come in and got himself 2 laps down under green, and still won the Winston 500.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So never say die.
Yeah, no sense in backing it up. I know, a couple of fans out there would like to see Justice Murphy go back to back for this one, to see, if a non-playoff driver could come out here and kind of own it here. I think that would definitely be an interesting shuffle up. I know Matthew Robinson would love to get a win here and get a lot more comfortable than heading into a road course praying that he's going to squeak by on a few points. Last of the drivers working their way down. Nick Shell will be the last holdout, and he's working his way down. That should put Matthew Robinson back into the lead as Daniel Holloway shows no signs of slowing down here, continuing to push him on through. And we've seen a little bit of Daniel Holloway, Stella. I know you out there in the View watching the Graceland Shootout Series. Douglas Ross, you had a little bit to watch, and we called for them as well. Daniel Holloway's a good guy to really have in your rearview mirror, and not out the windshield. But if I'm talking about if you're drafting or the pushing, that's a guy you can trust behind you to do the right thing and not get you turned around.
And most definitely, I can tell you this: Daniel Holloway is definitely one of the guys you want to work with when it comes to drafting. I've had the opportunity to race with Daniel in the Graceland Shootout Series, and he is definitely a guy that you can trust when it comes to racing with or even drafting help with that.
Oh, yeah. Well, as you can see, the drivers are kind of clumping it together here. Last one being Ray Lane here in this front pack, gaining 18 positions here on the night. And we talked to Ray about Ray Lane a lot. We've seen him over at the Big Show racing in Kansas. And you want to talk about somebody who's got that track down to a science. But I want to keep an eye on this backpack here, really shuffling themselves up where Grant Thorpe is leading this outside line, trying to get some more help out there. I believe Grant Turner and Devin Hudgens, new drivers here to the league. Not new, but different guys out here. Looking to push him, but Grant Thorpe actually gives it up to Grant Turner there. And falls back here a little bit. Interesting enough to see the fuel calculator sitting back a little bit. I'm wondering if he's concerned he might not have enough fuel to make it to the end. Coming in on lap 15, they should have enough.
Yeah, because, I mean, by hook or by crook, they're going to be stopping at 30.
Yeah, Trevor Aart did come down on 10. Looks like a 9.68 second pit stop with that fast repair, but he is about 46 seconds off pace here. He's not going to be too happy about that. If he ends up going a lap down here, that could be huge. Seeing where he is out there on the track and when stage break comes around. It would definitely require a caution to come out for him to return back out there. Taking a look back, these are the leaders on the way in. Yeah, right now that is a big difference here. Right now, Trevor Earhart's best lap or last lap out there was a 53.45. Matthew Robinson's running at 49.9.
Does anyone know why Parker Johnston's still in the pit?
Unknown. Yeah, right now I'm looking to see 45 seconds down pit road. May have been a speeding penalty. Yep, and we are taking a look right now at Matthew Robinson catching up to the number one here. The number one moving on through. Here he comes. Matthew Robinson going to slide on around. Notice the clump of cars. The guys who are battling 3 wide in the back have now caught the front pile. And Jeremy Burns is leading the outside line, and let's get her on going. And trying to figure out where now Trevor Earhart's going to fall into this line here, as he is now in a boatload of trouble, trying to see if he can hang in there. I think he finally found a solid spot where he can hang out. Let's get a little closer back of the pack now as he watches the rest of these guys slide on through. Alice Forget sliding past him in the 19 machine. And look at the inside line. Here's that accordion that Douglas Ross was talking about. Fike off the racing surface, and these guys are hammering each other. Boy, that was a nasty bang up there. But they stay alive as Robinson's still battling on the inside line here. Has unfortunately lost the lead here for just the blink of an eye as Jeremy Burns is going to try to run him to the line.
Like it, yeah. We got some Burns fans out there too. Debbie Smith is already piping in as well as Shannon Rosselmeyer. But they're pretty quiet for the Mountain Man fans.
Yeah, well, right now I'm sure they're not typing. They're probably grabbing a hold of the edge of the seat, wondering if Jeremy Burns can hold on to it here. He may have led that last lap by less than 1/10 of a second, but Burns is now falling down to 7th as the outside line has fallen apart, I mean, in a big way. Already starting to move on to the outside line is Trevor Keith in the number 15 Ford. Right now, the top 5 loaded with Fords, except Matthew Robinson's Chevrolet, who still sits in the lead. But this is looking pretty good, as right now I'm seeing guys already kicking up a little bit of smoke here in the back, and it looks like Alice Forget may have been put in a wall there a little bit. And I don't know if Forget's having some steering problems, but he is out of the pack and rotating his way on back. I don't know if this is planned, but it's not looking good here early in this run.
Yeah, he's been running 18th and 19th all the way back in 22. It's just really unusual for him.
Yeah, see how far he's falling back here. If he loses the draft, he's not going to be able to stay caught up. And this could be huge for any kind of stage points that he desperately needs heading into this round of 8 if he can make it. Right now he's still in a pretty solid spot, though, for the run, but man, it's just you don't want to squeak by. You want to make sure you're nice and calm and have a nice secure spot, because the last thing you want to start thinking about while you race is, do I have enough points? Do I have enough points? Do I have enough points? No, I don't want that. Let's race. Let's go out here, do what needs to be done, and I'm not panicking. Hey man, I've got to be over 8th place to survive. I got to be over 12th to survive tonight. You want to come out here and have that nice, calm feeling, and that way you perform your best out there. But we are taking a look here from the spotter tower as Matthew Robinson is still battling side by side with Trevor Keith. Keith, boy, he's really showing he's got the tenacity here to go down on Matthew Robinson, where he's trying to get a little more of that door draft. Looks like Trevor Aart may have to come down for a quick pit stop. Maybe not enough fuel. Back in he goes. Matthew Robinson trying to squeak on by as he leads that lap, but just barely, by only two, I believe about 30 thousandths of a second. And that's what I've got a good feeling, Stella. That's the kind of finish we're going to see here tonight.
Yeah, right now they look like a can of worms, though. Douglas was talking about stay in a straight line. That is not what I'm looking at.
Yeah, if you want to talk can of worms right now, look who's rotating on the outside line. Devin Hudgens moves into the lead here. Let's see if he's shaking, because right now you do not want to give up on everybody who has been pushing you so far. 26 of Tay McDonald, Caleb Gilbert sitting in that line as well. What a huge run that was, and that's exactly what you want to see, is the outside line will prevail, but Tay McDonald ditches him. Decides not to. That may have been an idea for 3 cars to shift about mid-lane here and keep on going. So Devin Hudgens still holding on to the lead here, and there's a little stake in the game here tonight, Stella, for the winner here tonight.
I do believe so. I think there's $30 on the line.
Boy, $30 in lap 30 is what we're going to be seeing here as Devin Hudgens gets another good shove there by the 54, and look at what it's doing. Accordion effect on the inside, and Tay McDonald looking like he's jamming up that line. Right now, Trevor Keith has got to go up there and fold his rear bumper into the shape of a U if they want to get this inside line rolling again. But Douglas, this is looking pretty solid here as the drivers, as of no mistakes yet. Trevor Aart, the only one to pop the wall there. And I believe Parker Johnston, he may have ended up with a speeding penalty as he came back down pit road. So what does this mean for some of the other guys out there when we come to the stage? Does this... Are they going to get laps back, or are they going to have to keep fighting this off later on in this run?
Well, this is actually my first time with the Racing Revolution, so I don't necessarily know if they get their laps back at the end of the stage. I want to say they do. So when they get their laps back, it's all about just then keeping patience, starting in the back of the field, and it wouldn't bother me to just stay in the back of the field for this length of the run, because you still got a long way to go. There's going to be 64 laps to go at the end of the stage. It's not a bad idea starting in the back. So if I was in the position of Trevor Aart or Parker Johnston, I wouldn't be panicking all too much.
Yeah, right now we're seeing Justice Murphy actually falling back here as Justice Murphy now goes down a lap.
Yeah, in this league, they will get a lucky dog, but unlike Sunday league, they do not all get back on the lead lap after a stage break.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
they won't be able to get it back, so they've got to stay out there. All the guys who are laps down may have to stay out an extra lap to get their laps back and get a pass through, and they may be forfeiting some sort of position here. Tay McDonald getting the lead here. Right now, Matthew Robinson still taking a peek. I guarantee you, Matthew Robinson is going to look for this last lap pass, and he is going to try to sling around Tay because he desperately needs. He's one of those guys in the hot seat. So here we go, past the line, and right now they are shooting on through, and the speed we're getting up to is no less than 190 miles an hour. But this is looking like a great battle up here in the front where Devin Hudgens is looking to get his first stage win here. Out in front, Caleb Gilbert trying to push him yet again, and Chris Nail in the 88 Toyota finally seeing a different vehicle other than a Chevy or a Ford up here in the top five. Continuing on, Caleb, what a cut. That is going to undo it. Now Caleb Gilbert's going to be up front, but watch Matthew Robinson as he sits back a little bit. He's going to be looking to strike if he can push. Now Matthew Robinson gives a little shove here. They're going to create a little more space. Going to see if he can get one more shot here as we shoot toward the line. Not going to be able to get enough here. Caleb Gilbert. Woo! Man, that's a tough run here as these guys keep pushing on through. We end up 3 wide here. Now we're looking at Jeremy Burns. Outside line, now only the inside line is going to continue. Robinson and Holloway. Here it comes. Right now I'm looking to see if Mr. Restrictor plate of Michael Bennett is going to follow along. B decides to stay on the inside. Gets a shove. Go for broke racing. Getting in the middle of it. Here we go. They've got to complete this lap, and we'll figure out who ends up with the stage points. Jeremy Burns on the outside. Matthew Robinson, no. That is not the move I would have made. I knew he was going for the block, but that is not good. Robinson and Jeremy Burns folded into the wall, and that is going to do it. Take away his playoff hope of getting a stage points here, and that's going to mean Caleb Gilbert and Daniel Holloway are going to come 1 and 2. Whoa. Yeah, right now I guarantee you that the radio is lighting up right now. That is a huge hit.
Check up.
That was a huge hit. Matthew Robinson, I knew he was going for the block,
Man.
but not enough.
Yeah, that was Gilbert pushing Devin Hudgens. I mean, right up to the lead, take it away, and then zips out from behind him. Really just sucked all the juice out of that draft there.
Yeah, I knew what Matthew Robinson was trying to do there. He just needed to do it about a second earlier, and he'd have had him clear. When Matthew Robinson got up close, that was going to be ugly. Let's see if there's any hard feelings out there on the track on the radio chatter, as that was a wicked hit into the wall.
All things considered, we did an amazing job keeping it all together there.
Damage. Look at that. They need to use their fast repair.
Well, that's definitely going to be something to be considered here, Stella, is Matthew Robinson and everybody are going to be working their way down pit. I would question if anybody would consider tires here. I would probably say yes. I would throw tires on just because it's a scheduled stage. But for longevity, I would probably say no. Taking a look, there's Matthew Robinson passing on by. See if I can get the drone footage. He does have some damage to that right front fender as he took a hard lick into the wall.
Rear right fender, too.
But I could tell you this. At least the good thing is the toe link doesn't look bent, so he might be in good shape to keep that fast repair as long as the toe link ain't bent.
Fixes it. Fast repair used.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gutsy move here. I definitely... he's going to be starting from the back, seeing that where he was. I don't know how much damage was caused or if he was nervous that something may have been bent. You know, if it was slightly tweaked out there, you know, Douglas, and I'm wondering if that's why he went ahead and took the fast repair. Because, man, dude, we still got 60 laps to go here.
Hey, Robinson, did
Maybe
you just
he
use your
could feel
fast repair?
something in his steering wheel. that wasn't right.
Yeah, we're checking out here over the radio chatter and seeing if we got anything. They're asking Robinson if he used his fast repair.
What did you do, Ray?
Yeah, they're trying to team up and figure out what's going on out there.
Also, everyone, we are choosing this time, but it is 2 to go.
Alrighty. And we take a look here. Choose cone rule is coming up next. Grant Turner looks like he's first one out of pit, but not the only one not to take tires. It looks like Ray Lane is not taking tires. So, a couple of the guys staying out. We see him here in the front. Trevor Aart sitting up front. James Loveland, he is working his way out of pit now. Trying about a minute and a half in his pit box. Parker Johnston, he's sitting in the back. I think Trevor may get one of his laps back here. Justice Murphy should have already gotten the wave around here. So right now, Aart should have gotten the wave around. He's working his way down pit. And try to see if he can scrape up a last of that damage out there. Boy, what an interesting move here.
Who just came down pit right behind him? Ray Lane?
Actually, Raider Burns Justice Murphy. Yes, and Ray Lane as well.
Okay. Sorry, I saw a black car all of a sudden, and it was like, wait. You were talking about them being all tight and, buckled up together and whatnot for the finish. This particular track has one of the closest NASCAR victories happened here in 2011. 0.002 is separated between Jimmy Johnson and Clint Boyer. But that's actually a tie for the record.
I thought the Labanis.
Nope.
No?
Nope. No, there's a tie between Ricky Craven and Kurt Busch for 0.002 seconds, but at a different track. Can you guess the track?
Can.
Sorry?
Said I can.
You can? Oh, you Googled too fast.
Where? Was it Darlington?
You got it.
Yes? Oh, but man.
Very good.
Yeah. I remember the Labanis were pretty close, but that was no. Yeah, no. The Bodines, I think. I was watching that. Yeah, I think it was Jeff Bodine. And somebody was asking if he let up.
Hundredths of a second. This is 2000ths. I mean, that's like, an eyelash at this speed. So, very good.
All right. Driver's getting lined back up. Trevor Aart still a lap down here. See if we can get this one back underway. He's got to pray on a caution and not be in it.
Yes.
Justice Murphy was able to stay out front. We'll be back under green here in just a moment.
He took his bucket all the way.
There we go. Away we go, heading into turn 1. Boy, this is going to be ugly. Let's see him shoot around this corner one more time. Got it over top here. So far, so good. Right now, nobody making any crazy moves as of yet. Taking a look, Grant Turner back into the lead, where he originally started this race. Out in front.
Bennett.
Yeah, Terry's out there saying he foresees yellows.
No.
So we'll see.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, and Michael Farron is here. Yeah, I know.
Haven't seen you in a million years.
Farron is fast. Who else is out there pretty fast? Tay McDonald. He's out there with guess who pushing him? The Candy Man. So Daniel Holloway's going to get Tay McDonald another lead lap here as they shoot around the turn to begin lap number 35 here at Talladega for round of 12. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTrax Broadcasting for the Matco Tools 250 here tonight. Service, trust, results. Matco Tools. Moving on through, Daniel Holloway still following along behind Tay McDonald. Kevin Orlando sits third. Chris Nail is 4th. Right now, Kevin Orlando's wishing this one would have been the last race of the round of 16, because if he could get a solid finish like this here tonight, he would have been able to stay in the points chase with the rest of the guys. But hey, guys have got his guard getting eliminated. Unfortunately, he was one of them. But somebody I haven't talked about at all is Tyler Harrison in the 45 Toyota. Now, I know he's kind of been bumbling around back here, gaining 5 positions here so far on the night, but it is looking pretty solid here as he's not been in any trouble. He's definitely keeping out in front and staying really kind of in a safe lane, I would say. But now when you get up closer to the front, decisions matter. Really got to keep in mind where you are, where everybody else is out there, and not get yourself in a boatload of trouble. But it looks like Grant Turner not doing what Matthew Robinson did and moving his way on back, making a block for that lane. So that is going to cost Grant Turner a few positions here on the bottom. Michael Bennett in the number 14, gaining 9, sitting 8th. He is on that bottom line. You see him 3rd, 1 in, trying to see if he can work on these guys. But so far, I want to give a shout out there to Tyler Harrison. He's really been doing some work here on the outside, not taking any dangerous risks, and that could very well pay off, especially with 5 to go.
Yeah, I'd like to see, you were talking about having Justice do back-to-backs, kind of having an outlier come in and win this one the way he won last week. It'll be, it'll be interesting to see if they continue to knock out the win and you're in aspects of these finals.
Yeah. And speaking of which, this is also the second round that we've had where one of our guys who is locked into the next round of the playoffs has had some sort of catastrophic failure. The round of 16, Robert Rader was out due to an internet connection, and he ended up sitting in pit road and then joining us in the booth. And then now you've got Trevor Aart, the only one locked in for the next round, 100%, and he's down a lap here, so he's got a lot of work to do to see if he can fight back and continue battling along. Now, I think the part that would really kind of deflate me on this is that was his own teammate that kind of turned him into the wall. Just a bad push there, and it just, unfortunately, I would love to be able to talk to Trevor and say, dude, man, how do we, I don't always know how guys just keep that positive mindset when you're out there on the track at over 190, touching almost 200 miles an hour. Right now, Daniel Holloway's top speed is 200. Fastest one that's been out there is Raider at 206 now. It is how do you make the decision to stay positive and continue pushing on through and not want to jump out and try to rip somebody's head off for making a stupid move that may have ruined your race. Come on, Douglas, give me something.
Yeah, Douglas,
give me something. You're the one. Baby. You're the one who ends up in the crash in the crash stuff.
Oh, don't remind me about crashing. Well, I could tell you. I could tell you this. I mean, when you get wrecked by your own teammate, I mean, yeah, it's tough. Just by saying that, yeah, it's tough. But mistakes happen, especially with Talladega. Anything can happen, but it is tough. But just keep your head focused in the game; it'll come right back to you.
Man, it's just so tough. Just so tough. Fortunately, fast repairs can sometimes fix everything. Right now, it's not fixing Matthew Robinson's position out there as he still remains down in 22nd. We've seen a lot of guys being able to slide around. I'll mention it 1,000 times that we've seen already that Dale Earnhardt, with 8 to go, come from 18th to win the race. So it's possible he could fight his way up. And, man, I don't know how long I'd want to hang out in the back, seeing that I've got about 54 laps and I've got to get back up there. We're seeing at least probably 3 more pit stops. He's got to start making that turn forward. He can't waste any time, and he's got to find a happy spot, find some guys he can work with, and start pushing his way back to the front. And I know he desperately needs that here, but he's at least got somebody back there who can work with him. Alice Forget just needs to reach out and try to get a little going on. If Matthew Robinson's able to kind of stick half his car out there, He may be able to grab a hold of Alice Forget and sling him around, putting Nick Shell to the back, and see if they can get something rolling there, as Trevor Aart, I'm sure, would love to get a little more speed, as you see him being the only one hanging on the outside all by himself, trying to push on through. Alice Forget going out there trying to touch him as well. Stella, this is looking pretty good as Alice Forget's now getting a good boatload of speed here. Notice how he kind of vacuums up to the back of this 21 here, and now they're going to move together and see if they can move up to the front. I'm wondering if Matthew Robinson will take advantage of this.
Yeah, don't know, but it's a good thing because his girlfriend's out there rooting him on. So this is this is nice timing. Yeah, welcome Terry Earhart. I see Terry Hudgens also rooting on Devin, and so is Jay. Travis Gilbert is out there.
What?
Also with saying, let's go for broke racing. Got to get it done. So it says, great to see Ray Lane back on the track.
What? Travis Gilbert not out here? I know. He's one of the drivers that I have been missing out here. Man, where in the world are you? Farron's saying he's fast, but I have yet to see him on the track for a long, long time. He knew he was supposed to be getting a hold of me. But man, what a great way to see this race kind of come together, is we've only seen really one fumble here. There's no yellow flags other than the stage, and we saw Trevor Aart get into the wall a little bit. It looks like Parker had a speeding penalty, and I'm not 110% sure what got Justice off cycle, but he ended up a lap down, which gave him the lucky dog round, leaving Trevor Aart in the back. Now, Aart had been on the move, and I know he's definitely slicing and dicing back and forth here. If another caution does arise, Trevor Aart will be on to the lead lap and trying to see if they can get back on track here for the Earhart group to continue on this roll. But now, Tay McDonald enjoying a nice, comfortable lead with 4 drivers uncontested behind him. Daniel Holloway, Kevin Orlando, Grant Turner, and Chris Nail trying to see if he can stick his nose in for the outside line to see if he can get a good charge through here. Now, Douglas, you've been out there and you've been pushing guys in the front, and you know ones that you can push and ones you can't. But how do you tell a driver in front of you, man, your car just ain't got the power to stay out in front. You need to move to the side and let us sling by and you push us instead.
Oh, I mean, that's easier said than done. I mean, if you're in a Discord room with the guy, you could tell him to just move aside, I got the faster car. But when you're not in a Discord lobby, it's really, really hard to tell a person to just move aside. The only way that you can do so is one of 2 options. One I recommend and one I don't recommend. The first thing I would recommend is if you see a car moving on the outside line and they're going faster, move to the side and see if you can rely on them for draft help. Or the second option that I can recommend to you guys is give them the old chrome horn. But that right there can make you a better enemy than a friend out there. So just going with the second best bet. I say chrome horn. It's when you give them the bumper.
Ah! Funny. Okay, thank you. I'm imagining, the big train horns, the big giant horns on top of the truck, and I was like, where the hell did they put that?
Yeah, they just talking about you move them out of the way. We'll take a ride along here with James Loveland. You can kind of see this good pack of cars sitting in front of him here, trying to see if he can find a good way through. And notice how we are kind of playing follow the leader. I believe that is Dylan Smoot that we see down there on the bottom in the red car. And we haven't talked about Smoot either. Smoot has kind of been hanging out there on the outside, not really kind of pushing anything going on. And really, I don't know, it's very odd. Dylan Smoot kind of comes in clutch when he needs to, but he hangs back. He doesn't push hard. He just kind of sits back, lets the race come to him, and then he attacks. And really, that's what you find out of most veteran drivers, is they sit back, they don't panic, they don't rush to the front, and they end up finding a good angle to slide their way out of there. But speaking of sliding, right now I believe we saw Raider slide out of the pocket here and caused a big shuffle up with Trevor Keith and Devin Hudgens. They all look like they started shooting around there a little bit, and that was not good. Parker Johnston getting a good face full of fresh air there for just a moment, but now Loveland, he's left alone. Where does Ray Lane come in, and can Ray Lane push it here? Because notice how the outside line is absolutely deteriorated, and can they come back from this? Are they able to kind of keep the roll and push up farther? I would love to see Nick Alves try to go out there and see if he can get himself another 6-7 more positions and drop back down to the bottom. because that's really what you want to do. The safe spot, really, to be in a super speedway is in the top 5. You got to be up there, kind of hanging here in the back, and really in that, 8th through 17th is not a good place to be, seeing that most wrecks happen around that area.
Well, I can tell you what, right now, Patrick, that outside line is moving. And right now, James Loveland is loving what he's seeing right now, taking that side draft off the inside.
That
that
and
it
Ray
is.
Lane, they're both usually very, very quick when they come out here. And they are showing their stuff right now.
They're trying to see if they can get it
right
going.
in the lead.
Boy, look at that. See? And the outside line stayed together, and what happened here? Now Loveland and Ray Lane are here in the lead. Chris Schaefer looking to get third. Tay McDonald, it looks like he finally gets unseated here from the lead. And I believe that is Parker Johnston on the outside. And Parker is still down 2 laps, though. But he's rolling around here with the top 5 drivers. Now, I know he's definitely looking to try to get at least one of his laps back, but he's going to have to wait till Trevor Aart gets his first. But this is so far so good. Out of the drivers here so far, Robert Rader sitting back here in 14th. Nick Alves is 13th. John Fike, who was up here in the top 5, down to 12th. And Michael Bennett bops right outside of the top 10 here, sitting 11th. So really interesting shuffle of cars here. Kind of interesting to see how many guys are and are not pushing. Justice Murphy, 18th position. Alex Forget, 19th. I mean, I would say, when we're looking at the super speedway here, Stella, it doesn't matter. It could be anybody's game out here, and that's really what you're seeing is everybody kind of hanging back a little bit, hanging back, and then trying something different, which I would love to know if that's what Robert Rader's trying to do here, is notice how he's falling off pace. I'm wondering if he would like to kind of hang back a little bit, if he can get a shove by Devin Hudgens. If they could get an entire run, these guys sling to the outside, and then actually put Rader into the lead here in just a moment, but they would definitely have to crunch each other up and then get a good push. So we'll see as we sit in the booth here for the beginning of lap number 50. Only 44 laps to go here. Appreciate each and every one of you out there in the chat. Travis Gilbert definitely lighting it up now. Farron out there. Jade Hudgens, Terry Hudgens. Oh my gosh, you guys are all out there, definitely. And I do want to shout out Chuck Fletcher, which I know you, Douglas, you know him personally out there. Chuck Fletcher is out there, and he's listening in this evening. Definitely should be a great run. Shannon out there rooting on the Mountain Man, and Debbie Smith as well. I'm not forgetting you out there. Definitely just a lot happening out here on the track and in the chat as we see Robert Rader. Here we go as Nick Alves let off the gas a little bit to try to help reel him in. And I'm questioning now, these guys last pit on 31. We starting to look at pit stops going to be here pretty soon.
That's very, very soon, Patrick. And I can tell you right now, it's going to be interesting to see who goes with who. I mean, last pit stops we almost saw people getting into each other. So hopefully maybe this time they'll get it more organized.
Yeah, holy cow. Fastest guy on the track is Caleb Gilbert, sitting 10th. Show he just hit an unreal 216 miles an hour out there.
Woo.
Yeah, I don't know what
Really?
happened. Yeah,
His paint's going to start to peel.
yeah. I know, he did. At one point, he hit 216 while everybody else has been hitting that 198, 200 mark. So he may be sitting right there in the back trying to get a good wind-up before he slings through the turns. Pit road, here we go.
Boy. Yeah, what I did notice when those 3 fellas were coming up, like between them, I mean, that's Parker and then Schaefer. Everybody was kind of a little bit of tire slayer racing in there. That trying to get something going on that outside line.
Oh, yeah. Looks like Terry Earhart out there is kind of rooting on a caution here. I know some of us like, no cautions yet. I know, Trevor needs one here. But definitely don't want to see one. Notice how the guys are shuffling on through. Daniel Holloway gets behind Nick Alves. Alves to his highest point here of the race, sitting 4th. Michael Bennett sitting in that 2nd position. How do we get this going? I would assume we're going to see pit road heat up yet again, and we'll see how many sling down this time. Yep.
55, gentlemen. 55.
Drivers who don't stay out. Rader, Thorpe, Jackson Lomax and Jeremy Burns remain on the track. Let's get back to it here. We definitely have a possibility of a caution. This is Talladega. So other options and guys sliding around or trying to figure out how to keep on track and not turn each other. If this went cautionless, this would be definitely eye-opening. if it could be do.
How many times have they gone cautionless at Talladega?
3 times.
Mm-hmm. Do you know when the most recent one was?
This year.
No, not yet. No, 2002. But that is the most recent, as far as I know, cautionless Cup race.
Oh, no kidding.
And it was here.
I was just guessing 3.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. 1997, 2001, 2002.
Wow. I know some fans only show up for the wrecks, but that would definitely be an interesting one. It's not seeing any ones of the wrecks. All right, as these guys get wrapped around here, they are working their way out of pit now. Jackson Lomax, Grant Thorpe, Rader, and Burns. It looked like 2 tires may have been taken there by Rader and Burns down pit road while everybody else took fuel and goes here. That might be a different tactic. Definitely taking maybe only a right side set of tires and getting back out there. I wonder if that may pay off later here in the run. But that is going to put, right now, a 3-car getaway. Tay McDonald, Grant Turner, and Ray Lane. Boy, yeah, that is crazy. Right now, Mr. Restrictor Plate is going to look to be playing catch-up here in just a moment. Right now, he needs a win, and that way he can get in. Very, very close here. Stella, we are about 40 laps away from this one. It's going to be close. Now, I kind of question at this point, are they going to be able to maintain and keep the push here and kind of keep it going, as we've got a driver heading back down pit road, Tay McDonald. We're not sure on Tay. We'll hopefully have an update for you here. What happened to Tay McDonald and why he goes from the lead back down pit road here for his 4th stop here of the night. We'll see if he has to throw it up and put some tires on, or if he ended up speeding. Oh, he's got to drive through.
Oh, he's...
No.
Oh.
No.
Yep.
Man, I tell you what.
It is confirmed. Yeah, black flag 2 fast entering pit road.
Oh. Man. You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. That deflating aspect. Just absolutely crucial, man. Just destroys you here. But hopefully they will be able to continue on. But everybody hold on just a moment. We're going to cut the commercial. We'll be right back.
And so we had an issue at a plant about 2 weeks ago. It was a traditional municipal wastewater treatment plant. Tremendous foaming on top of the basins. And so me and our lead operator for the site got our heads together. We pulled some samples, did the analysis of those samples. We actually looked at the bugs from the system under a microscope so that we could see the type of bug that was actually growing in there. And what we found actually was that there were very few bugs growing in there. The higher life forms in particular had died off, and we had the single cell protozoa type of bacteria growing in there. So what that told us was we probably got hit with some kind of toxic shock at the facility. So we immediately changed the way we were operating the plant. We changed the return activated sludge rates, the wasting rates, and did a few other things around the facility to try to really buffer ourselves against whatever had happened, because it's too late, right? It's already in the plant. So we're trying to buffer ourselves against whatever that toxic event was, because if it just happened, yesterday, it's liable to happen again today. Usually these things go in like threes. And so it's taking real world experience, knowing that we not only needed to look at the analytical data that we were collecting at the time, but also looking at the bugs under the microscope, determining what's going on with the bug population in the aeration basins, and then taking that information, layering that together with the data we collected through analytical analysis, and coming up with a solution based on all that combined, which I think is a pretty unique approach to dealing with a problem like that at a facility.
For the finest in vinyl siding, rain gutters, overhangs, storm and replacement windows, even patios and decks, trust in the experts at Ultimate Siding and Gutters. In addition to being licensed and insured, our technicians are also friendly and courteous, performing hassle-free service and installation at affordable rates. Plus, we provide free estimates for commercial and residential structures. Our entire staff will exceed your expectations. For the ultimate in siding, gutters, and much more, call Ultimate Siding and Gutters today.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you guys hanging on for a shout out from our sponsors. We are taking a look at the last Talladega winner, Nick Alves, out there in the number 24 machine. He is on a roll here so far, gaining 16 positions here on the night. I am interested to see how choked up on the steering wheel he is here tonight. It might be changing up there just a little bit to see what he's got going on that's different. He last pit on lap 52, so we'll kind of count about 20 laps, 25 laps off of when he may need to pit next. But Nick Alves doing a fantastic job there for Performance Motorsports. Yeah, definitely love to see him come away with a win here at the Matco Tools 250. Matco Tools is an American manufacturer of quality professional automotive equipment, tools, and toolboxes. They guarantee service of all the equipment they sell, and their network of independently franchised distributors bring you the tools that you need to get the job done. When you're looking for quality you can rely on, look on Matco Tools. Visit them at www.matcotools.com for more information. All right, taking a look at it there. Nick Alves still rolling on through. Taking a look out in the chat as well. Joshua Abbott is saying, let's go Robinson. He's coming in late. How's he doing? Well, he was doing a heck of a job out there. Right now sitting down in the 22nd position. He ended up with a little bit of a mishap out there, maybe a judgment error, trying to give a block to Jeremy Burns and Robert Rader as they were on a roll and had a heck of a run going on the outside, coming to a stage. That unfortunately got Robinson into the wall where he suffered a good bit of damage to the right front, but not as heavy as Trevor Aart did. And he unfortunately has shuffled all the way to the back of the pack. Robinson has been spending the last third of this race trying to figure out how he can battle back up here to the front and remain competitive. He's got to find a few driving buddies out there to stay alive, but almost 6 seconds off pace here, and he's going to be way out of the running. Not too bad, as right now we are taking a look at the top 10, finishing out with James Loveland, and kind of rotating on back as the guys who separate themselves from the rest of the field. And Jeremy Burns, I believe, will be the first one in that pack, followed by Nick Schell, Robert Rader, Matthew Robinson, and Devin Hudgens. Hudgens sitting down here in 23rd, and we've seen a couple of mishaps here so far. So Trevor Aart looks like he got a little spun out there by a contact with Christopher Schaefer. Parker Johnston had a speeding penalty, sitting in his pit box for longer than he needed to be, and Tay McDonald with a drive-through penalty. Other than that, Stella, we haven't really seen much happening out here, really bad-wise.
Other than that, I don't know. Granted, we haven't seen a lot of people eat the walls. We haven't seen, but like you said right in the beginning, there's not been a lot of door drafting. These guys have learned, to keep their distance a little bit, coming up in the middle, or not wanting to go too far down on the inside. So it's a clean race so far, and maybe we can keep it that way.
Yeah, 30 laps left to go. Tay McDonald is wishing for that caution that everybody's kind of been praying to happen here, as he has got to be careful. You see him taking looks like what he's taking a look at his rearview mirror as they are coming up to lap him very soon. Grant Turner has the lead here, and he may be in a boatload of trouble. Let's take a look off that gearbox. There's the leaders. Tay McDonald may be in trouble. If Tay McDonald goes down a lap, technically he is much farther ahead than Trevor Aart. He would be the first one, if a caution were to come out, to get back onto the lead lap. And that may mean bad news here for all the Trevor Aart fans, seeing that Tay McDonald may end up ahead of him. Right now, the separation between those two drivers is about 56 seconds, so Trevor Aart's got to find a way back around as he drops down now 2 laps. Keep in mind right now, Tay McDonald under fire here by Grant Turner. Turner doing a heck of a lot more speed. Right now, about 190 miles an hour. Tay McDonald doing 179. This is going to be rough here as we take a look as they catch on up. So far, so good. No trouble as of yet. Let's keep an eye at where it ends up.
Gonna go. Okay.
Oh, Grant Turner got to hold on to it here, but this could be where things get interesting. Looks like the top 10 have kind of figured it out. Sliced back down toward the bottom. Bennett trying not to lose the draft. Bennett now going to have a decent run here to the outside. Now we get a second lane. That's exactly what I was hoping for, and that's exactly what we're going to get. Nick Alves almost leading that lane to the outside. He thinks best not to do it. Interesting enough to see Nick Alves leave it alone, where Daniel Holloway and Justice Murphy were locked and loaded, ready to help him here. But that is going to do it. Tay McDonald drops back down, and that's going to finish it off here, Stella. And interesting to see, that's not really what I expected us to see rolling on through.
It isn't, but I think there might be a little bit of genius there, because if Tay McDonald was doing 20 miles an hour slower and he can get, the Candyman behind him as well as the rest of the line, then it behooved Nick to go ahead and hop in with the front guys, even if he's on the tail and not on the head of the snake.
Yeah, that might be an idea. Right now we are seeing Michael Bennett up 14 positions, sitting third, and Nick Alves sitting fifth for the Performance Motorsports gang, and Alice Forget finally coming up with an answer. Now he's up to ninth. But the outside line starting to form again. Christopher Schaefer, we were just talking about that. It was that door draft, and that's what you're seeing here. Outside line holding on tight as they slang up top 5 and beyond right now. Christopher Schaefer, boy, you want to talk about an upset tonight if he comes away with the win to squeak out toward the front. This is doing an excellent job here as these guys continue on through. Grant Turner still in the lead, but just for the moment, as Christopher Schaefer cannot be stopped. He's already getting help from Parker Johnston, is 2 laps down. And rotating on through. Boy, what an interesting run here we're getting here tonight.
Well, see, that's what I was finding early in the race when Trevor Aart came in front of him. Was Schaefer was saying, no, man, maybe he was giving him some of that chrome horn action, that I have the faster car, and back and forth behind him, but I think he did have the faster car, because look at him go.
Yeah, he's definitely on a roll here. Definitely seems to be holding together quite nicely. Looks like we've got a couple guys here in the back that are also considering the outside line as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think that is Grant Thorpe back here, and he's looking pretty close, and I think he's trying to work with Jackson Lomax on the outside line. Lomax getting pretty tough here, trying to see if he can hover down closer to the other drivers. Door draft 101, here it comes again. Now they are slinging into the top 10. Boy, you see, all it takes is a little guts here, and that's exactly what you're going to see. Now Lomax is able to grab a hold of the draft from the back end here of Parker Johnston and pull him up through. Schaefer now has the lead. Solid run here by Christopher Schaefer, gaining 13 positions here on the night. The 23 Chevrolet getting a hooked machine now has the lead from Grant Turner. Turner scoring on the pole, leading himself a good clutch of laps here tonight, but he is definitely looking to get it back as you see him pushing as hard as he can to keep Chris Schaefer out in front. Might separate, pull to the outside here, and we'll see the outside line kind of shuffle up once again. But where does Michael Bennett fall in? Where does Grant Thorpe fall in? As you see, Grant Thorpe has given up on the outside line. You know, where does Justice Murphy sit in top 10? I mean, after an upset placement last week, I mean, these guys are right where they need to be, but 25 laps to go. The heat's going to start getting turned up. I probably would expect with 10 to go, and we might get that caution that a couple of these guys have been waiting for. I would hope not, because if this thing goes cautionless, that would be fantastic. Might be something to submit to iRacing Live, but right now, pit road, here we go, starting to heat up. Now we got a few guys coming down, and this is going to be huge right now. Turner, Lane Schaefer, Nail Orlando, Tyler Harrison, Trevor Keith, Dylan Smoot, looks like Nick Shell, Tay McDonald on their way down pit road.
Do you think that they are hoping to fill with gas now and make it to the end? Because you figure there's going to be a big one, and they're going to have enough if they go with all the cautions.
Best case scenario would be making it and stalling out as they cross the line.
Well, sure.
But what I'm saying is that is going to be close. They are going to have to require the draft, and whoever's in the front is going to be the sitting duck. I would question if they're going to make it. I expect Bennett to probably go another lap or two here. We did pit on 52. So it's been a right while, and they may be able to make it just one more lap and then slide around, and that'll make sure he has definitely enough fuel to make it, because he doesn't want to have the guessing game whether he is or he isn't. So the top 13 thinking the exact same thing. Devin Hudgens, the only one to come down pit now. That is not going to be good, as he's going to be the only one to exit pit by himself. He might be able to hook up with Trevor Aart, who's down pit as well, and that may be kind of a fumble here. You got to pit, unfortunately, with the clutch of cars if you want to stay and remain competitive without them being out there by themselves. This is looking pretty solid here so far. Appreciate you guys joining us here. Definitely at least got over 35 viewers watching us concurrently right now. Don't forget to subscribe, as we are looking at John Fike slinging in the pit at, I swear, almost 70 miles an hour. He may be coming down and serving a penalty. That was super fast. It looked like he cleared Michael Bennett on entry here, but I don't know if he's going to be dealing with a speeding penalty. So we'll keep an eye on the number 10 Chevrolet of John Fike here, but we're getting the lead here is Jackson Lomax. Lomax now into the lead, up 9. Grant Thorpe sitting up 13 now, and Alv's still out there. Boy, Alv's definitely taking his playoffs into his own hands here. He's up 18, sitting third. Daniel Holloway, Justice Murphy, and Alex Forget. I'm sure this is about to be a slew of cars working their way down pit road now. Here comes Alves and Holloway. That's it. And everybody else stays out.
Nope. 2 more.
Yeah, looks like Rader and Burns. But remember, this is the Element X guys that have no problem making it in on points. They may or may not need a win here. Right now, Nick could use a win. He believe he's sitting 7th in the points.
Yes.
So
yes,
just above that cutoff.
3 above cutoff, and that's scary.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The last thing you want to do is be making it just barely. That's the last thing you need. All right, Lomax, Thorpe, Murphy, and Alex Forget staying out there. And I'm not seeing the Performance Motorsports crew really doing a whole lot of teamwork here. These guys are separating themselves apart a lot. Matthew Robinson's still trying to come back on this one. Right now, Robinson has pit already. So he'll be staying with the lead clutch of cars. If he's able to grab a hold of this tail end here, it may help pull him through. But boy, he's in a bad shape. Sitting 19th, he's getting ready to lose the draft. With Trevor Keith. Keith is sitting 18th. He's another driver on the bottom rung who has got to fight his way in. Very, very close here as Jeremy Burns now slides, grabs hold of the draft, and Robinson might lose it here.
Yeah, I thought the same thing with Devin Hudgens and Dylan Smoot. When Hudgens came down solo, he does have a team member out there.
Yeah, now we'll have to see if that can kind of bring itself about. Notice how Jeremy Burns looks like he slows down a little bit here to help Matthew Robinson out. Burns looked like he was up there with him. Now it's only the 2 of them. We've seen Robinson over at the Coast to Coast Racing League, how he pushes. So I definitely expect to see that number 1 have it to the floor and telling Jeremy Burns just hold on. Because he's going to see if he can get those two pushed up to the front because they're going to need it. Right now, this is pretty huge. Grant Thorpe still out there as he came down for fuel and go. And so did Alice Forget, fuel and goes. A couple of guys who did take a couple of tires, Chris Nail and Kevin Orlando. Moving on to Tyler Harrison as well. Jeremy Burns looks like he took 2 tires. So did James Loveland, and Ray Lane, I think, took 4. Yeah, definitely different strategies out here, Douglas. What's the key to taking tires, and is it a good or bad thing?
I mean, normally myself, I could tell you. In my case scenario, I would normally take no tires when it comes to a Talladega race, but because of them running a longer distance of 94 laps, I would say possibly maybe even 2 tires wouldn't be a bad option, just saving the little time on pit road and getting out as soon as you can.
Yeah, I agree with that. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, all the viewers out there. That way you can come over here and chat with us here during this race. Only 19 laps left to go. I definitely expect to see everyone out there in the chat kind of rooting on your favorite driver out there as these guys continue on through. Right now we are seeing Grant Turner here getting ready to push his way back to the front, seeing if they can come back alive. Right now as the two or three drivers who are hanging out front by almost a second, that lead is being shaved off by the minute as they keep moving on through. Right now, Justice Murphy trying to see if he can work along through this. Murphy lining himself up for a top 5 finish here as long as everything can stay clean. But Alice Forget dropping off the back here just a little bit. Now I would almost scratch my head a little bit going, man, I don't know about that. But now we're seeing Devin Hudgens. Devin Hudgens is just about to go a lap down here as the 77 machine decides to stick behind the 84 here. 84 of Devin Hudgens getting a world of hurt here if he can't figure out how to get up and move. Grant Thorpe trying to push him here. And Thorpe definitely trying to stay alive as they get on through with 17 laps left to go. Grant Thorpe doing the fuel calculator. I guarantee he's kind of narrowed this one down. He knows he's got enough to make it to the end. But is he trying to draft to see if he can hold out just a little bit longer?
That might be definitely what he's doing. Just staying behind a car, just trying to conserve as much fuel as possible because he's probably about maybe 60 to 75% throttle just hanging behind the 84 of Devin Hudgens. So strategy on Grant Thorpe, we'll just have to see if it goes his way.
Yeah, right now lapped cars all around Grant Thorpe here. Seeing how Grant Turner is going to be the next one on him. 48 and the 21 are laps down on the outside line. That is going to move Grant Turner up to the lead if they can't get it going here. Not too bad. We're trying to see how Grant Turner's going to do it, and he now captures the lead. Out in front, does Grant Turner drop down? He's thinking about it, but unsure, as these guys have helped him get him all the way to the front. Jackson Lomax sitting right behind this whole clutch, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to battle up front as well. So talk about something insane here, Stellars. We are looking at lapped cars getting back out front, getting some of their laps back here.
And at Talladega, I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, right now, Tay McDonald, Devin Hudgens, Parker Johnson, Trevor Aart. These guys are laps down, and they just passed the leader. Moving on through, looking to see who's going to be next on the chart here. Grant Turner looks like Chris Nail in the 88 Toyota. He'll be next to sit for second place. Kevin Orlando returning back to the top 5. Sitting third now. So far, so good. These guys started in the front row. They're looking to return back to the front row. But with 15 laps to go, everybody's getting ready to open it right on open. This is going to be a huge run. Right now, only about a second, 2 seconds separate 16th place from the leaders. After that, we kind of march way on back about 11 and a half seconds to reach and find out where James Loveland, Ray Lane, Matthew Robinson, Jeremy Burns, and Nick Schell. That is the different estate that they reside in now, as they are way off the reservation here. Mike Johnston is saying way to go 48. 48 now getting out in front. He is fortunately, yes, he is in front. Unfortunately, still down a lap, though. He's going to be able to try to see if he can squeak through If a caution does come out, he'll get the wave round back to the back of the pack, and then they'll slice off the lucky dogs from there. Still at 14 laps left to go. So far, so good. You know, who's going to be kind of the one to bring it home?
Well, I would have said Alves has the track record, but he's dropped back to 9th. Bourget is not usually the long run guy. I think this might be Grant Thorpe's to
Yeah, Grant Thorpe doing an awesome job here. Sitting second. He's gained 13 on the night. Only Bourget being the one to have more places gained than him by only 1, though. His number 19 Toyota sits 5th here. He's got to rock on through. But I expect to see a few lanes, if not go 3 wide here toward the end. Alice Bourget trying to set himself up for a good run. Now he sucks up to the back end there of Chris Nail. Nail not going anywhere, so that hits the brakes on it again. 13 to go. Douglas, this is solid here so far. But now with lapped cars in front of our leaders here and this entire field spread apart, what happens next?
Definitely a lot of different things I can see happening here, especially with 12 laps to go. These are going to be the money laps right here to see who can do what. I mean, if you want to make something happen, you have to make it happen now. But the question is who is actually going to feel the most comfortable? Like, if these lap cars actually stay in front of them for the time being, you have to wonder who is actually going to be the ones to help who.
Yeah. Well, right now, outside lane starting to pick up some pace here. Kevin Orlando will be leading that charge. I believe he's got Tyler Harrison, the 45, working along beside him, or behind him, excuse me, as I believe that looks like, yeah, that should be the Echo Electric machine. He'll be bringing up that 3rd spot. So Kevin Orlando, door draft, snug down on there, because that's what you got to do. He lost the draft help there from Tyler Harrison. Harrison coming back up, getting ready to push him through 3 and 4. That's what he needs. Good timing from the number 45 of Tyler Harrison, as they have now secured 2nd and 3rd out there on the track. Grant Thorpe walking this one on back down to 4th, and it looks like Alice Bourget down to 7th. So continuing on through, as the lapped cars in front are not leading this one. The white car you see 3rd on that inside line is the leader there, and now we've got Kevin Orlando into the lead. Tyler Harrison sits 2nd, actually battling there for 2nd, as he gets just a fender here on Grant Turner. And Grant Thorpe falling off the reservation here. The 77 machine has got to figure out if he's going to get a run here and follow that outside line, because they've really been on a tear. Lapped cars starting to cause some trouble out there on the track.
Yeah, at this point, I think maybe Grant Turner should be talking to a couple people behind him and say, let's make an outside line, man. These guys aren't doing it for us in front.
Yeah, Parker Johnson is leading the lapped cars out there. Parker Johnson, Trevor Aart, and it looks like Tay McDonald. He's out there tussling as well, trying to see if he can hold on. And Devin Hudgens in the 84. We are seeing Grant Turner. I'm wondering if he's a little nervous that he might not make it on fuel. Seeing that right now all 3 of our top 3 drivers hit on lap 70. So that means they would have to make it at least 24 laps, which is at the very end of that fuel tank. Kevin Orlando now out front leading this one with 10 laps to go. We've seen it once, we've seen it 100 times. Being the leader here at Talladega could be a sitting duck, and how do you turn yourself into the width or the length of a train car out there if you can make sure you don't get passed? And this is going to be ever so tough, as right now some of our guys out there, we were kind of rooting on Matthew Robinson to kind of bring this one home, Michael Bennett to bring this one home, and we may see a lot of Performance Motorsports guys being eliminated here tonight, as this is going to be huge and almost unrecoverable as they head to the Charlotte Roval next week. Cough, cough, cough. Stella, give me something here.
I'm sorry, babe. I keep waiting. I think we're not used to having 3 people in here, and I'm trying to give Becca some time to give all that good driver insight. Me, I'm kind of, I watch it go, and I watch it go, and I watch it go. But this is coming down to the wire, and I'm so proud of these fellas. But I think we're going to get right close and then everything's going to go to hell in a handbasket. We're going to get a caution, and all these fellas up front are going to go around, get out of the way, and we'll have a shootout.
Well, 8 laps to go here. Really, Douglas, what do you think here, bud?
I mean, generally, I would like to see this thing go green flag racing all the way around. I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. I mean, with the mix of the lap cars and everything.
Yeah, only a caution now will throw out a lifeline to drivers like Nick Schell all the way back to James Loveland, who are now 16.5 to 17.5 seconds off pace here. They are way, way back there in the backfield as we come to the line to have 7 laps left to go. Just over 15 miles on this track left to drive, as these guys has got to be starting to get worn out, and now is where the decision making takes a key turn, is everybody has got to figure out where their next move is going to be and try to offset somebody else who might be able to look for the exact same position. Now, Kevin Orlando, Tyler Harrison, and Grant Turner, all drivers here, not in the playoff spot. The highest one here being Grant Thorpe in the 77 machine. But once again, this will be a fantastic finish for Grant Thorpe to pull away with this one. We'll take another look at our championship points and where all our guys are as pit road heats up. Right now, Trevor Aart still locked in the lead, and we are seeing Robinson, Tay McDonald, Bennett, and Trevor Keith. Those are our guys in a bad spot, so they've got to hurry up and get locked back in. Continuing on, Grant Turner, Orlando, Tyler Harrison, Caleb Gilbert, Nail, Bennett, Trevor Keith, and Smoot down pit road. Here we go. Thorpe, Lomax. Remember, Thorpe came out there, came in on lap 74. He's been sandbagging here a little bit to make sure he can save enough fuel to the end. So how are his calculations? We'll see. Is the closest driver in the playoff spots is going to be Alice Bourget, who's now sitting third. Remember, the 84 is a lap down here, so you are seeing Grant Thorpe, Jackson Lomax, and Alice Bourget sitting 1, 2, and 3. Justice Murphy sits fourth. He came down on 74. The only one who should be nervous now is Nick Alves, who came down on 73. So will he have enough fuel to make here? Caution!
Oh, wow.
Did somebody loop it? I think Parker Johnston is our guy. Yeah, Grant Turner may be down and out here. I'm sure he's not going to be happy. Grant Turner had to tow.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take a look back and see what caused this.
Yeah, look, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like Parker Johnson just completely lost it coming off of pit road.
Oh! And that's Bennett who got hammered, isn't it?
That's not Bennett. Oh!
Yep, that's Grant Turner. Boom, into the wall. Oh, my.
What do you say? Oh, my dude. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's
So Parker,
Performance
yeah,
motion
you
hit.
see the right side
That
tires
hurt.
go up there and hit the yellow. He's going to be black flagged again. Bennett trying to get out of there, and the 48 starts rotating back up the track. Wow. So right now is a fantastic time for Bennett to return back down to pit road, use that fast repair, because he's got one last shot at this. Grant Turner having to tow, unfortunately. I don't think the fast repair is going to save him now. Wow. Yeah, a little hush-hush silences over the crowd, and even here in the booth, as everything gets shuffled around again.
Well, it kind of sounds like what I said. It's going to be a quick shootout till the end.
Well, we've got guys who have enough fuel to make it, and we now have guys that are now chewing on their fingernails if they're going to make it. Nick Alves, one of the drivers who's not going to make it. He came down pit road. Drivers coming down on lap 90. I'm interested to see no one taking really tires here. That might shuffle it up a little bit, except Robert Rader. He came down and got 4 tires. So 4 tires and fuel for him and Jeremy Burns. Expect to see big things out of those two.
Yeah, but our reigning Talladega champ went from 4th to 12th with 4 laps to go. That's painful.
Yeah. Yeah, this isn't good. Matthew Robinson moves up to 14th. He last pit on 90 as well. I believe Devin Hudgens got his lap back.
Yay.
So he will be able to maintain and get out there. Grant Turner still in pit. I don't know if he is able to recover here. We'll see if he's able to bounce back. And I'm trying to figure out where Michael Bennett is. I believe Bennett has been able to stay alive 21st.
Yes. Yes. McDonald's running like a crazy person to get back up to the end.
Yeah. The only driver from the Performance Motorsports crew, 6 Alex Forget, till the choose cone rule. So one unscheduled caution tonight comes at probably one of the most untimely points of the race. Lucky dog should have been Devin Hudgens, who worked his way around. Coming down pit road again, looks like Parker and Earhart are working their way down pit. Still holding on Grant Turner. Right now I'm showing Grant Turner hanging out here in the waiting room. Let's see if we can keep this one PG. Grant Turner, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Dude, we see you had to tow. How bad?
A whole 4 minutes of towing.
Oh, because it was under caution.
Correct.
Oh, man.
I have yet to leave, and I actually will be able to leave here in 5 seconds.
Wow. Are we having to take a fast repair to get your car put back together?
We will have
Boy.
to take a fast repair. Luckily, I still had mine.
Yeah. Well, talk about one of the worst times here to end up under caution. You scored on the pole tonight. You led a total, complete bunch of laps, but it didn't look like you had anywhere to go as Parker Johnston was spinning out there.
Yeah, there was nowhere for me to go. But I was hoping that I could avoid him, but just got clipped on my right front. Nowhere for me to go.
Wow.
Yeah, you just
Hopefully,
barely swiped
we'll
him.
see how this race ends, and I could hopefully get some laps back if I can.
Yeah. Well, I would love to see them give you your laps back, man, but we know how the racing revolution is. It's by the book, man. It's going to be tough. Grant Turner, I wish you the best, man. Hopefully you're able to kind of bounce back from this. We may have a slew of cautions after this and end up with yellow fever and give you another chance, man.
Yep, it is Dega. Anything can happen.
Oh, yeah. All right, bud. Where were you? Were you up there in performance?
I was actually just all on my own in free agent.
Boo. Man. Out there racing
He
by
was
yourself.
doing just fine.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, good luck to you, buddy.
Have a good one.
All right, everybody, that is Grant Turner, unfortunately, ending up here at the end of this race. Kind of blown out here. Looks like Parker Johnson is still down pit road. I don't know if he suffered enough damage. Grant Thorpe, Alice Forget, front row. Jackson Lomax sitting third, and Justice Murphy will be fourth. About to go under green here as soon as we hit the restart, and now we've got to let her rip. Grant Thorpe down into second gear, riding it out to the top of third as they hammer through. Barney in the flag booth running it green, and we shoot across the line, maybe for the last time under caution as we get this one underway. But any driver out there who wanted a second shot, this is it. Up to the front, trying to see where they slice on through. We've got guys spread apart. Daniel Holloway, the first one to send it 3 wide here in the back. Right now he's sitting in that 10th position, but notice everybody starts blocking. That does open up some room here for John Fike. Fike now to the inside. He sits in the middle. But look who's still on a roll. Daniel Holloway sending almost 4 wide. Get out of the move, Kevin Orlando. We are moving on through. Justice Murphy sitting in that 2nd position. And Alice Forget, who desperately needs a win here, will be bringing us to the white flag. But Stella, this is looking pretty solid here as we come across the line.
It is, and I eat my words.
Right now, Alice Forget, the highest playoff driver in the top 5 here, trying to see if he can hold on. win and you're in, he's going to have a chance. So as we keep this one rotating on with inside line, Alex Forget, and remember, Justice Murphy have had nothing but bad quarrels between each other, are now depending on each other to make it to the end. 12 giving a shove here, now Grant Thorpe's going to join in. We are spinning out in the background. That's the big one, baby, but we are under white flag. It doesn't matter. And right now, Alice Forget is probably talking to Justice Murphy saying, buddy, don't pass me. You're not in the playoffs. Hold on. But does Grant Thorpe sit back here? And he's trying to work with Kevin Orlando for the sling as they exit 4 into the dogleg. Alice Forget now running out of room. Forget might be in trouble here. Oh, no. Justice Murphy takes the win. Grant Thorpe comes second and Alice Forget. Holy cow, Justice Murphy pulled it off.
My goodness.
Second last race, win this race. I tell you what, that is a huge finger in the eye. As once again, the 12 All About Bugs Chevrolet here comes away with another podium position. I guarantee you right now, Alice Forget and Grant Thorpe are saying, man, what in the world is going on out here? Let's go back to the big crash here in the back, on the backfield, as this collected just about every driver. Raider onto the inside. Drivers backwards. Nick Alves is spinning around. He gets hammered by Smoot up top. We're taking a look at Lomax. There's Trevor Aart shooting through the gravel. Whoa.
Bennett made it through, though. I saw his 14.
Yes, Michael Bennett placed 6th tonight, and Matthew Robinson came in 8th.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
if
bad
I am
for
looking at this...
Motorsports.
Yeah, well, Performance Motorsports turned this one around. Alves did not make it through that pile, but not a single driver from Element X Racing made it into the top 10 tonight.
Oh.
Caleb Gilbert was the closest, sitting 11th.
Wow, not Raider, not Burns. Wow.
Yeah, let's take another look at this.
I mean, because they're sitting 1 and 3 on the playoff charts. That's gonna be humongous.
We're gonna try to see how we break this down and figure out how this kind of pulled apart here. I thought it was somewhere around Daniel Holloway. This ended up in some trouble. We get a good glimpse here from the Goodyear blimp. Sitting 3 wide here. Boy, there's some wiggling. You see that? Slicing right through the center here. That looks like Daniel Holloway. See if we can pull this apart.
In the fight.
Right here, we end up with some trouble. Ray Lane moves over. Looks like FICO mishooks him here.
There. Lane
with Loveland. Loveland down to the bottom here, getting Lomax. And then that comes back. What happened to Raider back here? Raider wasn't even in it.
I wonder if he let off seeing it and somebody came in from behind him. Oh, no. Well, he came right down on Jeremy.
Hooked himself around Jeremy. Boom.
Yep. Oh, Nelly.
What a hit.
That was a jawbreaker.
What a hit.
Look, going just as fast as the rest of them backwards. That's impressive, Mr. Lomax.
Yeah, I want to see if we can find Michael Bennett here and see if we can ride with him, see what it looks like from his angle, and then we'll get it going. Here's Bennett. So lucky.
Never even downshifted, man. Just rock and roll.
Wow, that was amazing. Justice Murphy coming away with the win here tonight. I'm sure we got a few drivers out there that are going to be joining us that are going to be pretty mad here, as this was a huge shift for Justice Murphy, stealing the win. I'm going to say it. Stealing the win. because that was huge. Grant Thorpe and Alice Forget both needed this win desperately, but at least a podium position for both of them. That should be huge. Right now, Timmy, that should be a yellow flag, buddy. We were under white, so whatever happens after white flag, that is completion.
Yep.
No, Jessica out there, not real happy. I know Alice Forget wanted the win, but the worst place you can be at Talladega is in first place on the final lap. Douglas, you know all about it, buddy.
Oh, yes, I do. I've been in that position so many times.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you came away with a win for a last lap pass.
Oh, yeah, I did.
The spoiler.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, everybody, hold on just a moment. We'll reel our drivers in and, boy, break this one down. All right, everybody, catching up with our third place finisher, Alice Forget, the number 19 Toyota for the Performance Motorsports gang. Man, they are super happy that you at least came out with a top finish here. Talk to me of the last few laps here. Alice Forget. Alice Forget.
Bring him back.
Alice Forget, what are you doing here, my man? We are in a interview. You can't leave me.
No, I can't leave now.
No, we were ready to go. I told you 20 seconds, dude. We end up this race.
I was ready.
It got jacked from you here, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest. Yeah. I got a bit too relaxed at the end, and Justice was on my back all on the restart. He was like, "Yeah, let's go. We're gonna go get this. You're gonna get position. That's it. Yeah." And he stabbed me in the back.
You cannot be in first place on the last lap. It has to be the dogleg pass.
Yeah.
Every single time.
At least it was still like, if I think only of this race, I can be disappointed because I got robbed. But if I think about the overall picture, this is an amazing day today. Stage wasn't, but I wasn't really. I was really struggling to understand what I was supposed to do at that point. I didn't know what to do. That was crazy.
Yeah, hard when you're in that position, man, to make the right call. You know, all the decisions, no matter what you do. If you rotated up and tried to block Justice Murphy, it could have ended up the same as Matthew Robinson, hooked into the wall, and then you wouldn't even made a podium position here tonight. So that'd have been A-okay, man. But dude, well, you end up third here tonight. You gained 16 positions on the night.
Yeah.
You know, that was a huge move. Nobody else on the track other than Devin Hudgens matched you tonight with the amount of positions that you gained. You know, I was nervous because you hung back in the back 20. Was that the plan?
Well, qualification was a big factor on about if we were gonna run hard or not at the stage. I didn't qualify super well, so I was just laying back at the beginning, and then with maybe 5 laps to go at the end of the stage, I got sandwiched, and I got like at least 20 seconds of damage, so I just backed off. I sadly ran out of the draft, so I just look at the back, go away on the sunset, but I knew that it was only the stage and, you know, think big picture and just hold it there and hope for the best, and the best happened.
Boy, that it did, man. Definitely, you if you looked in your rear view, you at least avoided the big one. That one was collected, I believe, at least 11 drivers. That was a huge wreck here at the end, and I'm sure they are up there duking it out and fighting it out up top. But, man, we head to a road course next. Happy or sad about this?
Sad. Just to come back quickly at your point, yeah, that wreck, I was really hoping it was a caution, but it didn't.
Oh,
Because
no.
I was leading at that point, so it would have been a win at that point. But no caution.
No,
But,
we're
that
on
was
the
fine.
white flag.
And for the road course, yeah, I've practiced yesterday with my teammates. Didn't go well.
Oh,
I'm struggling on road course. It's a thing that I really know, and I've tried to work it as best as I could. So with the caution that I've made today that I wasn't really thinking about getting, so I'm really happy about that. Obviously, it's making my job a bit easier for next week. So I have to keep that in the back of my mind and just keep it on track.
All righty, man. Shout out time, and make sure you say something about Jessica out here.
Well, I don't know if she was watching tonight. I
Yes.
hope she wasn't, because she was working. She was working tonight, so
Uh-oh.
she was doing double duty, I guess.
Yes.
She is not a
So
happy
thank you,
camper.
Jessica, for always supporting me in every racing thing I do. Thank you, Chapman, Unvermal System, Ultimate Sighting and Gutters, Butt Kicker, and you guys stream. I always have it on my phone. See, hello, I'm right there.
There you go.
I always have it on my phone to watch what's going on at the same time when, like, on the yellow and things like that. So I really thank you guys for always doing an amazing job with the replays and things like that.
Yeah.
And thank you to my boys, Performance Motorsport. They really helped me keep my head up in this race today.
Oh, yeah. Well, definitely. It went a great job. All of you were outside the top 10. 3 of you came in the top 10 at the finish. Congratulations, Alex, and I will see you at the Charlotte Roval.
Thank you, sir.
All right, everybody. That is going to do it
He's
for
usually
Alex
pretty
Forget.
good at a
Alright.
at a road course. I'm would be
Yeah,
very
he's
surprised.
pretty good. As long as I think he only fumbles once, and it's always catastrophic. He ends up going out there and busting a toe link off. I think that's what ended up happening at the Daytona one. He hopped a corner a little too hard, but our Canadian in the 19 Toyota places third. That moves us on to Grant Thorpe. And our fuel calculator, once again, boy, I think we just talked to him not too long ago getting through this, and let's grab a hold of him here. Grant Thorpe, boy, man, you were starting to kind of rack them up here, these top 5, hell, even podium positions here, man. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I don't know, just kind of getting hot at the right time of season. It's a good time, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very good. I would say, looking to see only Justice Murphy, you, and Alice Forget were the only ones to stay out since lap 74. So, talk to me about your calculations here, buddy.
Yeah, so me and Lomax were in our team chat, and we were just kind of, from the very beginning after the stage, we are trying to figure out what we needed to do. That last stop, we knew all along that me, Jackson, Justice, and Alex were going to be the only ones that could make it to the end if there wasn't a caution. We were saving that whole last round the best we could. Unfortunately, that caution came out with about 4 to go. We all stayed out there. We're just shutting the engine off under that caution, trying to save. We were good for that initial green flag to the finish, but if the green was checkered, I don't know if we would have made it. But
Ooh, that's close.
Man,
yeah.
That's insane. I want to question one move out here, since you didn't get in any trouble tonight. Sticking behind Devin Hudgens, was that in the process of your fuel savings? Because you were in the lead and hung behind him. I mean, wasn't sure. Talk me through it.
So really that was just so I could save fuel. If you're the lead car, you're full throttle, and it's roughly, it's like 5/100ths of a gallon a lap that you can save by not being behind, or by being behind a car versus not being behind. So over the run, that saves you about a lap and a half by not being out front, and that really makes the difference there. So just kept saving. I knew that everyone else wasn't going to make it except for the 4 of us anyways. So I was perfectly okay with that pack catching us, passing us, because I knew they weren't going to make it. So I was kind of was going to hang behind Devin till the end. And with about 2 to go, I was going to push him as hard as I could and hope I had enough fuel saved to that point. Try to hold off the rest of them.
Now everyone knows why he's called the fuel calculator.
He figured it out here, boy. And I just want to say, guys, keep in mind, you hear the calculations here. That's going amazing. And how you were able to kind of just narrow it down, shut the engine off, save as much fuel as absolutely possible. Man, that's close. Just so close. But we head to the Charlotte Roval, man. And nicest way is you're hit and miss at these road courses. What's your confidence level? Chasing drivers like Jeremy Burns, Justice Murphy, Alice Forget, these guys out there. How do you capitalize on this hot streak you're on?
I just kind of keep doing what I'm doing. Normally, I'm one of the better guys at road courses if I don't mess up myself. Not necessarily
won
win.
the Daytona Roval.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See.
But
you were on the
I
podium.
don't think so.
My bad.
Yeah, I thought
Just
he
Yeah, I
was
was on
third.
put.
Earnhardt
But
you.
yeah,
Okay.
but regardless, even that's all right. But I'm normally a top 5 guy, so if I don't just get my own way, if I can do that, I'll be perfectly fine. Should be able to advance to the next round. But just gonna practice throughout the week, and hope for the best again. I don't have points figured yet. We'll get those sent over to you shortly.
Ooh, well, I definitely expect to see you deep into the safe zone here. Shout out time.
As always, you guys always do such a good job. Team, Jackson's out here tonight, and then got to give a shout out to Justice for getting a win, a big bounce back after last week where he led most of the race. And take a little bit of pride in myself there. I pushed him to the victory. Kind of a business decision there. Push him, he's out of playoffs. He can't lock into the next round. If I push Alex, he gets locked in. So a little bit of a business decision and helping a buddy get a win. Also happy to see him get another win this year.
Always saying, little too late. Dang. All right, Greg, good luck to you, man, and we'll catch you next week.
I appreciate it. Hope to talk to you then.
Oh, yeah. All right, everybody, that is Grant Thorpe in the 77 machine. That blackout Tennessee car is doing the work. He's getting it done. That moves us on to our race winner here tonight, Justice Murphy, with the final lap pass, and we are taking a look at it right now as this race came to an end all the way until the dogleg. The dreaded dogleg is what I call it. And Justice Murphy, a little too late here, man. You are on a hot streak, continuing on each and every week, coming away, and now with a win. I mean, this roll is not stopping for you, buddy.
No, I said after I got eliminated, I had 7 more races to play spoiler. And I think so far a dominant kind of race at Texas. I finished second because I pulled a Trevor at Homestead, and then a win here, kind of headed in the way of spoiler. Hopefully we can keep that going.
Man, oh man. You almost wonder if you can talk the rest of the admins into taking the schedule and flipping it upside down. Maybe get you some decent races in at the beginning of a season. That way, and then kind of get blasted off in the end rather than the elimination in the first round of 16 here, Justice. I mean, dang, man, the last 2 races, this third one almost seems like a layup.
Yeah, I thought that might be the way that goes. We'll see. I told him earlier I've turned 7 laps in preparation for next week, so hopefully we get there and we know what we're doing, but we'll have to see how that plays out.
All right, well, a few drivers and fans out there may be calling all about bugs, because that's going to be bugging them. If you don't get enough practice time in there, they're going to be rather annoyed with you. Definitely they expect to see another top 5 finish out of that number 12 Chevrolet. Now, talk to me. You were looking in the rearview mirror laughing at the wreck happening behind you on the white flag and said, okay, now we don't have a battle. We don't have a third line that's going to be showing up. It's just going to be the 3 or 4 of us up here. Talk me through the, kind of entering turn 3 all the way to the line.
Yeah, so they started wrecking behind, and I couldn't see past Grant. So I was pushing Alex, and I was in their team chat. I was like, "Hey man, just go. It's the three of us, right?" I didn't know how close Kevin was, and I think Tyler ended up picking a little bit of the draft up. But I said, "Hey, it's more than likely a three-way battle. I'll push you as far as I can." Ultimately, I'm sure he'd like to see me push him to the win, but. We're all a little selfish at the end of the day, right? We want to win. So just got him down there where I knew that he was secured a pretty good finish. I think points-wise, he's going to be in really good shape. Bennett's going to be in good shape. So those boys had a good night. But yeah, just pushed him as far as I could, but I had to make a move. Grant told me he made a business decision there. He obviously doesn't want to see another guy lock in. So he made a business decision, got to my bumper, and shoved me up there for the win. So big shout out to the 77, man. I appreciate the push. And, we had guys working together well all night. I was with the performance guys tonight. The Candyman was in there with us, and we all worked pretty well together. Kind of wanted to see that play out green, not going to lie. I think that myself, Grant, Alex, and the 96, Lomax, were the only ones that had enough fuel to make it if it had stayed green. So we would have had a really interesting battle there about who could make sure they had enough fuel at the end. But either way, I sure like how it ended.
Yeah, that was a huge shot, man. Charlotte Roval. We're looking at it next, man. I know it's only 7 laps in. Daytona Roval, fantastic. Coda, you're doing pretty well. How do we handle Charlotte Roval with Jeremy Burns actually picking up a lot of skill here over the last year?
Yeah, Burns has been quick. Told us earlier he was running. He ran a 19.5, and I expect that pace to probably pick up a little bit. As weird as that sounds, the track. I mean, the weather conditions is supposed to get chillier in Charlotte through the weekend into next week. So by the time we run there, I mean, if the track temp is 80 degrees, I mean, we're probably going to see a 118 something out of Jeremy. So it's going to take a stout effort to beat him. We all know that. We all accept that. And it's a challenge that I'm willing to see if I can step up to. Maybe we can have a battle like Sonoma and get that 12 car out in front of him.
There we go. Yeah, I was going to say, nobody forgets a race like that when you get bumped almost into the wall there, buddy. Justice, shout out time, brother.
Yeah, and big shout out to you guys. I think you guys were the race sponsor today, maybe?
Yeah.
So, yeah, big shout out to you guys. Broadcast every week, man. Again, we'll go back and watch this one and see if we can enjoy it a little bit. And shout out to Chapman Environmental Services, Ultimate Siding Gutters, Butt Kicker, car sponsor, all about bugs. Shout out to my teammate, Jacob, my future teammate, Daniel, really helping out tonight. And then shout out to the performance guys, man, having me in there tonight and working the strategy together, really pushing each other. It's a former teammate of mine in Bennett. Hopefully he scored enough points tonight. He can be a little easier on the breathing monitor there. Yeah, going into the Roval, him and Alex and Nick. I think Maddie had a little bit of a tough night, but I know those boys will push each other and try to get them all 4 into the round of 8.
Yeah, they're definitely going to need it because Element X has been hard charging, only 1 down for them. There's the only group that are still in it all together. Justice, congratulations on your race win here tonight, man, winning the Matco Tools 250, and we'll see you next week.
Yes,
and
sir.
$30 richer.
Heck yeah. Thank you, guys.
It's going to make it
And
rain.
I think you also have locked in the best of the rest.
Yeah, it'd take a tough week next week. I have to look at what
really
I have to take a look at what the 45 did at Texas. That'll be the kicker with his 5th place tonight. But we'll see what we can do. Hopefully we can get up there and get it locked in.
There we go. See, even more money. My God. Good luck, Justice.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to do it. Justice Murphy down and out here. What a run here by Justice Murphy. Stella, this was a great job. And Douglas, appreciate you joining us here, man. Douglas, you saw this race here. You're thinking about getting behind the wheel. Talk to me about it. You think you can hang?
It's going to be really hard to tell. I mean, these guys definitely came to play tonight, and we'll just have to see. I hopefully will be joining these guys in like 2 weeks, so probably you won't be seeing me till Las Vegas. So we'll We'll just have to see from there.
Hey, that's okay, man. Definitely being able to get a foot in. I've had a chance to race with these guys. Tough. That's all I can say. They're tough. They're clean. There's a lot more strategy than what meets the eye. And once you get settled down into a team, boy, it takes a whole different form. Stella, this race here at Talladega, this was not what we expected. Definitely almost cautionless here all night. Other than Parker looping it there right there on lap 87, definitely ruining Grant Turner's night. I'm sure the box is going to light up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, pit road seems to be a pitfall for Mr. PJ, but it might not have been what we expected, but it couldn't have been better, if what we had wished for.
All right. Yep. So only one scheduled caution tonight, one unscheduled caution. The big one happened, of course, during the white flag, which unfortunately where Ray Lane and James Leveland looks like they got into it. Just a little racing deal. Didn't look like anybody cut off on purpose or anything bad happened there. Next time you will see us is normally the Doghouse Racing League on Thursdays, but they have postponed, and we will see them next time at Richmond on the 12th, which means you're going to join us again here for the Charlotte Roval with the Racing Revolution League. Yes. So next Wednesday, I will see all you guys for the road course, and 4 gentlemen will be eliminated here from the Racing Revolution League, moving on to the round of 8. But from all of us here at Simtrax Broadcasting, Douglas Ross and Stella joining me here, Patrick Morrison, in the booth, we wish you guys the best. So be well, be safe, be kind, and I'll see all you guys next time.